As social media managers, we get pulled in so many different directions that I wouldn't be shocked if you feel like, what skill set am I supposed to master as a social media manager? As someone who has gone from a freelance social media manager to now running a successful agency, I have lined up the 5 skill sets I believe you need to master if you want to become a successful social media manager. Hey, my name is Milou and I own a multi-six-figure social media agency, and I now help social media managers do the same. If you're new here, make sure to grab my free roadmap to becoming a 6-figure social media manager that I'll leave in the description below. Now let's dive in. Now, the first skill that I believe a social media manager needs to master is having an FBI mindset. Now, it's not for no reason that people call social media managers the FBI of the internet, right? Because research is such a big part of our job. The better you are at researching, at finding answers, doing whatever it takes in this job, the better you will be as a social media manager. So researching comes down to, yes, Googling things, staying up to date with everything you're doing, even on the platforms themselves, going through the comment sections of competitors. All these little things are part of research, right? Playing the FBI in our industry and seeing what your audience wants to see, right? If you don't have a big audience, there will be someone who does, so you can check and see what their audience wants more of from them. You can spy on what they're doing, you can see what their audience is asking them, answer those questions, do your research on different channels, different social media channels, as well as Google and social media tools that you can use to do this. But you need to be in that frame of mind of like doing whatever it takes, finding answers versus just posting and hoping it works, right? And kind of going through the motions at the end of the day. The second skill I believe you must totally master as a social media manager is having a sense of humor. Now, hold on, before you go, oh my God, I'm totally not funny, I'm out, you're quitting your career. I just want to say that I believe everyone has their own sense of humor. It doesn't mean that one person is not funny and the other person is. I believe that's a personal preference at the end of the day. And even if you don't feel that comfortable incorporating humor into content, right, for your client or for yourself, this is something you can teach yourself. So you want to get better at incorporating more fun content, whether it's memes that are very relevant to the time of day, and whether it's trending, right, or just getting like a slight sense of humor. It's the first question I ask clients when I onboard them. Hey, how do you feel about sprinkling in some humor, right? We're talking organic social media marketing, and I believe this is one of the marketing channels that you can't take yourself too seriously, because whatever post or content you push out, you want your audience to feel something, right? And the best kind of way to make them laugh, make them feel good, right? And it's just such a great way to build a community, attract more people, and increase your visibility. Again, if you say, okay, this is really something I'm not good at, start by studying other memes, other accounts that you do find funny, and kind of seeing how you can incorporate that into your own content and kind of mimic what they're doing. But it does take time for your clients' content personality to really come through. So this is something you need to practice and will get better at. Now, as I'm walking you through these 5 skill sets I believe you must master, I can help you get a head start as a social media manager with my Social Media Manager Thriving Bundle, which includes all the resources, templates I use in my agency, and that you can purchase for just $99 in the description below. Now, the third skill that you must absolutely master as a social media manager is people skills. Right? I think one of the biggest things about social media versus real life is, especially if you're just starting out, it might feel awkward having online conversations, especially on behalf of a client, right? Or an account you manage. Or it feels different than talking to someone in real life. But the better you get at your online people skills, right? The better your work will be and the accounts will perform. I know that for a lot of people that aren't in this industry and I talk to them or about engagement or community building, right? They feel feel very awkward even leaving comments on strangers' content, right? Let alone messaging them and stuff like that. But this is so important. You want to really get good at this by having proper conversations through comment sections, DMs, and very natural too, right? With this, I mean, don't leave comments like great post or like cool, yes, that was valuable, but really having a conversation like you and I right now, right? So what I personally do is to personalize community building and having that personal conversation with people is by adding their first name, for example, to a comment or a DM, or just checking out their account and saying something personal about it. It feels way more personal, especially because at the end of the day, it is still online, it isn't in person. So those are all little things you can do, but again, practice makes improvement, right? Now, the fourth skill I believe you must master as a social media manager is to interpret numbers. Now, again, it depends on your scope, whether you're a social media manager, strategist, and how much you actually do. But at the end of the day, I believe every social media manager needs to know the basics of interpreting numbers, right? Maybe you're someone that doesn't enjoy the data and the strategy part, but I do highly recommend for you to know at least like the numbers that you're bringing in, right? Being able to communicate that with a client. What does it mean that they got 100,000 impressions? What is the difference between impressions and reach, right? What should we be focusing on? Should we be focusing on website clicks, impressions, and why, right? So like a lot of clients and a lot of people are gonna have one like set of knowledge or belief about social media, like, oh, we need website clicks. But I want you to stop and think for yourself, like, hey, why would they need website clicks? Can we convert people in the DM? Or do we need more impressions and reach right now because they're starting from scratch? Those are all questions you need to ask yourself and be able to answer to a client and communicate every month what impact your work is having at the end of the day, right? So interpreting numbers, absolutely master this. Very important. Again, if you want one bundle where all my resources are that I use in my agency to give you a head start from lead generation to onboarding, questionnaire, and all of the good stuff, then check out the Thriving Social Media Manager bundle that you can purchase for $99. Now, the fifth and last skill you must master as a social media manager is to think outside of the box, right? This is a fast-paced industry and can be very challenging. Now, if you want to stand out and bring new things to the table, you need to think outside of the box. For myself, I like to disrupt. I help brands and clients do the same and to kind of go against the grain, right? And bring something new. To give you a very clear example of thinking outside of the box, managing a LinkedIn company page, right? How do you grow the audience? One way to do this is by inviting connections, but the only people that can invite connections for the page are the admins. Now, it wouldn't make sense for me to invite my network to a client's company page unless they work in marketing as well, right? But otherwise it wouldn't make sense. So to think outside of the box, something I've come up with before is say, hey, we want the teams to become admins so that they can invite their network versus me, because now we're actually getting the audience and followers we want, right? That's just one simple example, right? But there's so many different ways you can think outside of the box with social media, whether it comes to content, new ideas, and all of those things. It's so very important for you to master that and come up with new things. Don't just go through the motions if you want to set yourself apart as a very successful social media manager that everyone wants to work with at the end of the day, right? So that wraps up my 5 skill sets that I believe you must master. And let me know if you already nailed any of these skill sets or if you have any questions about the ones we went over today. If you want to binge watch another video of mine, then maybe check out that what does a social media manager actually do that goes a little bit more into the roles and responsibilities. But make sure you take these skill sets into account as you're building and growing as a social media manager. Make sure you subscribe because I post weekly videos, and then I will see you in next week's video.